Hey everybody, ASIC Eric again, and a short little video today. I took the advice of a couple of you guys on putting the hood back on the car before we moved on to the quarter panel back there, and it's largely okay. The gaps are a little wider than I'd like. This is more like a 1/4 inch instead of 3/16. We didn't pull it all the way down here, but the gap at the back needs to come forward as much as this does, so I think that's good. This side over here is kind of a similar story. This isn't cinched up right here, but this piece can come over that way a little bit more. So the hood's fairly square, seems to line up not too bad. We did take the old rusted hinges off and put the new hinges on, which was my one, well, I guess a couple of questions today, but the first one is the springs were pretty easy to get off. Getting them on is another story. So I don't know if any of you guys have a video you've ever done or know of one or whatever that shows how to put those things back on. I tried just using a screwdriver and wedging them back on, but it was just chewing the heck out of my hinge, and just, my brand new hinge is all chewed up now. So I stopped. So I don't know. So we put the hood back on without the springs, and that was a bear. These new hinges were completely out of alignment, and I don't know if that's because they had no springs on them or what, but that was really hard to do. The first time we put this hood on was pretty straightforward, and man, it took like an hour to get it on. This time it was a nightmare. But anyway, so that's one question, is how do you get the hood hinges springs back on? And then over here, we spent a maddening amount of time working on this side of the car. We hadn't really done anything over here before. Hang on a second. We have to. Never mind. The gardener's outside, so if it gets too loud, I'll shut it off here. So we got this door is pretty good. This gap's a little tight of 3/16, but pretty darn close. As you can, sorry, I'm up against the wall here, but that gap's pretty nice. We got this gap over here, pretty good. Nice 3/16 mostly. It's a little fat down here. The rocker panel gap is actually wide but consistent all the way down, which is nice. So that's good. But the problem that we were having here was this piece was just too far in conjunction with this being too far up, which is a bad combination, because you can put the shims down here to pull this down and pull this piece in, but if this has to go down and this has to go out, that's where we were, and that was kind of tough. So we got the bottom lined up pretty well. So, you know, the shims across the bottom seem pretty good. The body lines are pretty well lined up. Sorry, here you can see it's pretty good. Sorry, got a little too close with the blower there. So to get this guy lined up here at all, what I ended up having to do was go inside here with a big screwdriver basically and pry the fender out this way, which got this thing to line up pretty close. It's still not perfect, but pretty good. But now the problem is this is sticking out too far here. You can see, not a lot, but a little bit, maybe a 1/16 of an inch. And it's just kind of, I don't know what else to do with this. So it's kind of like the whole fender needs to be squished this way to get this to come out, but it also needs to be pulled longer to fit. So I mean, we were pushing down on the top of the fender here to try and get the whole thing to come down to get the lines to line up, because this edge here was high by like a 1/4 of an inch. I mean, it was way out. So we were mashing on it. The door, I don't want to raise the door. As you can see, that gap's already pretty darn big down there, so you don't want to raise the door anymore. So I'm not sure there's really a way to fix that. I don't know what else to do. I mean, we could potentially twist the door this way a little bit, which, you know, that side down there, it kind of looks like it wants that treatment anyway, but that's going to mess up this line back here. So that seems like a no-win situation there. You know, this is pretty good. It's not awful. I could probably live with this if I had to. So I think it's okay. But anyway, Part of the consequence of that is this edge might be a little wider than it needs to be here, but I don't think so, because both sides of the car look about the same. So anyway, that's it. Those are my two questions there. I'm not really sure if anything can even be done about that, but you guys know more about this than I do, so focus. Focus. All right. So once we got all that done, then I tore into the quarter panel. We didn't get very far today. I just got the wheel arch here cut out. That was a lot harder than I'm used to, because you can't really get the air chisel up in there. So it was kind of hard to get that done, but we got that done. I just cut this strip out here. Well, this is beautiful. The outer wheelhouse here is just perfect. No rust, no nothing. So that's really great. Glad to see that. Everything in here, as you can see, looks pristine. No rust. So it's all good. I do need to get this little piece out under here. So imagine take this seam sealing goop out of here, and then there's some spot welds in there. Hopefully I can get out. And then move on. Now we're ready to start stitching that thing back together. I will be probably consulting you guys on your opinions on where to do the cuts and everything. I think it was Wendell that was suggesting coming in here and doing this edge here as opposed to coming around the outside. This is pretty chewed up and trashed in through here, so I'm not against that idea. My only question is, if you come in here and weld along here, how do you dress that weld in that corner there? Is that going to be hard, or are you going to be able to get the little grinding and wheel in there to clean it out, if you think that's going to be okay? I know a lot of people like to cut them out here. I know Mark did that on his quarter panel. Since mine's so beat up, I'm kind of leaning towards Wendell's approach on this one to get this edge all sorted out here. But we'll see. So let me know what you guys think about it. You don't have to get into that today, because I'm going to be cutting into this thing over the next few days and starting to put the panel together. Similarly back here, the quarter panel skin doesn't really come around this corner very far, so I'm not really sure I want to cut this all the way back here and try and weld that in, because it's only like this big where it goes around that corner. And this part of my quarter panel is all fine back in here, so I may come kind of straight down like this somehow. This piece down here is pretty chowdered up. I didn't really want to get into this, because then I got to take this trim piece off here and all of that entails. But so I haven't decided that yet either. This may be okay in through here. I may just be able to split the weld right here, put the saw through there and just cut this weld, so I could just kind of pull that out of the way and then put the new piece in and then cinch it back together. May not have to take this off. And of course I cut all of this out. This is all rusted out before. So somewhere in here I have to decide what to do, so I don't have to take it all the way back here. I could cut down, maybe come down in here somewhere. I don't know. We'll figure all of that out. But anyway, I said this was going to be a short update. I'm never very good at that. I did get the new Goodmark quarter panel skin. I don't think it's really any better than the one that I had in terms of quality. I think it's pretty similar. So I think they all just kind of universally suck for this year of car. It does not have any dents in it though, where the one I had is the whole back end was dented, which is going to be a lot of work for me to fix. So this one's at least straight. So anyway, probably starting tomorrow or the next day, somewhere in there, we'll be able to start putting this up here and seeing how everything fits and how everything lines up. Should be able to get the rest of the cuts done tomorrow, or whenever I work on the car again, probably tomorrow. Anyway, that's it for today. We'll bring you guys along for this as this process goes through. And in case anyone is wondering, I put the welding blanket over all of this while I was doing cutting and stuff, so I don't damage my new rear end and everything under there. So anyway, take it easy everybody. Talk to you soon.